beings from other dimensions visit Earth regularly. This is what has been revealed from declassified FBI documents. The definition for interdimensional beings or interdimensional intelligence is usually described as theoretical or real entity that exists in a dimension beyond our own. We know that dimensions beyond our own, this is my comment, exist. For example, we have seen angels around us. They are in another dimension. We see them when God allows us to see them. We have seen them through the visor of the screen of our cameras. The cameras pick up different frequencies than our eyes do, and that's what happens. Now, despite the fact, though, that such beings are believed to exist only in science fiction, fantasy, and the supernatural, spiritual, there are numerous ufologists who refer to them as real beings. We know that in the Emerald Tablets written by Thoth the Atlantean, he claims that, and you will find that playlist of the Emerald Tablets I have for you in my video playlist of Emerald Tablets. Tremendous things what he says in there. He says they had such high technology, they had space travel and also interdimensional travel, and they were misusing their technology to the detriment of mankind. He believes that it was a matter of time before divine intervention would have put an end to the Atlantean technology and culture, which happened. But he says a lot of Atlanteans escaped this, they foresaw it, and they went to other areas of the world and reestablished cities. The first thing they did was build pyramids. But going back to this, interdimensional hypothesis. The interdimensional hypothesis was proposed by a number of ufologists like Jacques Vallée. He suggested that unidentified flying objects were UFOs, and related events such as alien sightings imply visits from beings from other realities or other dimensions that coexist separately with ours. Maybe that explains why they just zip out and disappear into another dimension, as the Emerald Tablets explain to us. Some have referred to these beings as visitors from another universe. In other words, Vallée and other authors suggest that aliens are real but exist not in our dimension, but in another reality that coexists with our own. In other words, they're interdimensional beings. And not all interdimensional beings, let's put that in reality here, are beneficial to us. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. This theory is an alternative to the extraterrestrial hypothesis, which suggests that aliens are advanced seafaring beings that exist in our universe. The interdimensional hypothesis argues that UFOs are a modern manifestation of a phenomenon that has occurred throughout recorded human history, which in earlier times was attributed to mythological or supernatural creatures, according to ancient astronaut theory. But it's a totally different thing when it talks about interdimensional, switching back and forth from material to non-material, for example. But despite the fact that modern ufologists and millions of people around the globe believe we are not alone in the universe, many ufologists and paranormal researchers have embraced the interdimensional hypothesis, and they suggest that it explains the alien theory in a much smoother way. Paranormal investigator Brad Steiger wrote that we are dealing with a multi-dimensional paraphysical phenomenon that is largely originating from planet Earth. Other ufologists such as John Ankerberg and John Weldon, who also favor the interdimensional hypothesis, argue that UFO sightings fit in the spiritualist phenomenon. Commenting on the disparity between extraterrestrial hypothesis and the reports that people have made of UFO encounters, Ankerberg and Weldon wrote that, quote, the UFO phenomenon simply does not behave like extraterrestrial visitors, end quote. This interdimensional hypothesis took a step further in the book UFOs, Operation Trojan Horse, published in 1970, where authors John Keel, linked UFOs to supernatural concepts such as ghosts and demons. Some advocates of the extraterrestrial theory have embraced some of the ideas set forth by the interdimensional hypothesis because it does a better job of explaining how aliens, quote unquote, could travel in space across vast distances. The distance between the stars makes interstellar travel impractical using conventional means, and since no one has demonstrated an anti-gravity engine or any other machine that would allow a traveler to move across the cosmos at speed faster than light, the interdimensional hypothesis makes much more sense. According to this theory, it's not necessary to use any method of propulsion because it maintains that UFOs are not spacecraft but devices that travel between different realities. However, they still need to get from one reality to the other, right? One of the benefits of the interdimensional hypothesis, according to Hilary Evans, a British pictorial archivist, author, and researcher into UFOs and other paranormal phenomena, is that it can explain the apparent ability of UFOs to appear and disappear, not only from sight but from radar, as the interdimensional UFOs can enter and leave our dimension at their will, meaning they have the ability to materialize and, of course, dematerialize, disappearing into another dimension. On the other hand, Evans argues that if the other dimension is slightly more advanced than ours, or is perhaps our own future, this would explain the tendency of UFOs to represent technologies close to the future. Declassified FBI document, beings from other dimensions exist. While all of the above may sound like something coming from a science fiction movie, there is a peculiar, declassified, top-secret document in the FBI archives, and it speaks of interdimensional beings and how their spacecraft have the ability to materialize and dematerialize in our own dimension. And the document titled The Flying Roll, July 8, 1947. And the red outlined area says part of the discs carry crews, others are under remote control, under a misspelled, UNDOR. I don't know who wrote this. 2, the mission is peaceful. The visitors contemplate settling. I'm not reading it wrong. It must be under, but I guess the writing is so small that I misread it. Sorry. The visitors contemplate settling on this planet. 3, the visitors are human-like but much larger in size. 4, they are not excarnate Earth people, but come from their own world, even though they're human-like, it says here. They do not come from any planet, quote-unquote, as we used the word, but from an etheric planet which interpenetrates with our own and is not perceptible to us. 6 says here, the bodies of the visitors of the craft also automatically materialize on entering the vibratory rate of our dense matter, or appears. 7, the discs possess a type of radiant energy or a ray which will oscillate, disintegrate any attacking ship on sight. I can't read that right. Disintegrate any attacking ship. They re-enter the etheric at will, and so simply disappear from our vision without trace. 8, the region from which they come is not the astral plane, but corresponds to the locus or talus, whatever that means. Students of esoteric matter will understand these terms, locus or talus. I'll do a video on that. Now, at 9, they probably cannot be reached by radio, but probably can be by radar if a signal system can be devised for that apertude. Apertude? I don't know, whatever that says. Okay, they're very small. So that's the transcript of it. Apparatus. Okay, so say they probably cannot be reached by radio, but probably can be by radar if a signal system can be devised for that apparatus. This is from reference Ancient Code on Humans Are Free. So I will do locus and whatever the other thing is. Sorry. Here it is. Locus and talus. See what that means. Please leave your comments about this, and thank you for your support.